Welcome to Lit Soc, everybody. It's Thursday and it's almost half term. It's getting lighter in the evenings, which is really nice, but still very cold. However, today it's National Storytelling Week, isn't it? National Storytelling Week. So today we are storytelling. So the idea is that, everybody comes and tells us a story. It can be a familiar story, it could be a different take on a familiar story, or it could be entirely of your own invention. We've got various things on the table, familiar and unfamiliar, some fables and fairy tales, and some folk tales as well, Indian, and I've got a story from New Zealand, the Whale Rider, because it was the New Zealand National Day this week, and lots of people went to the Maori treaty grounds where they made peace with the British, and that's a very important day in their cultural history. So, and also Pride and Prejudice is on the table because it is the 250th anniversary this year of Jane Austen's birth. We've got happening on BBC on a Sunday evening, or BBC iPlayer, Miss Austen, which is a dramatisation of Jill Hornby's book about Cassandra, Jane's sister, and what happened after Jane was no longer with us. It's really good, well worth watching. So, Hannah, are you going to start us off in the storytelling, as you've got to go elsewhere shortly? Yeah? Okay.
So I was inspired by my family and other animals, so I thought I'd tell you a few anecdotes about my dog, who's not a normal dog. He's half a person, or a bit more than a person. He completely runs our household, and we're all completely at his mercy and at his whims of his decisions.
He's a tyrant.
Yeah. He's political. He's everything. He's more human than human, and so this has actually impacted us badly in many ways. So my dad a few years ago had to go on a work trip that he was very important and he was very excited about, and he spent all day packing, and the dog clearly knew what was up and he wasn't happy, and he was going around destroying his clothes slowly, and we thought it was very cute and it would be okay until we came in, and on the bed was my dad's passport, and it was completely chewed through. The barcode was chewed through. How would he know? He'd been listening. So don't speak too much in front of a dog because they know what's going on. And then the other thing was we realised that the situation had gone much too far, and we had to somehow make him realise that he was a dog and not human. So I started looking up dog classes to try and get him under control. And then suddenly I felt this pressure on my shoulder, and he climbed up behind the sofa and he put his arms on my shoulder, and I thought, he had some sort of realisation of what was going on, and then he landed on the iPad that I was going through, and he changed the tab. So it was looking at something else, and he was stopping me from keeping him under control. Anyone who has a dog knows how it goes. At the beginning it's not on the furniture, not even upstairs, and by the end you're giving up your bed for his sake. So be careful.
Super dog.
Yeah, but he looks out for you. So the other day I went for a walk with him, and I don't know, it was very gothic. All these foxes were following us. Every corner I went round there was another fox, and I thought if I didn't have my dog with me this would be the start of a horror film, but because I did, it was okay. So I think I don't mind.
Harder, isn't it? Actually?
Yeah, it was.
I love it.
The moral of the story is I don't mind that my dog runs my life and my household. He's better at making decisions than I am.
And what's he called?
Leo.
Leo.
From the Latin. He's like a lion.
Wow.
Okay, thank you very much. Great.
Thank you. Hi, Leo.
Right. Anybody else would like to come
I
on?
have one, but
Come
I have to scroll to find it on the iPad. It's a bit I'm not going to read all of it because it's rather long, but yeah, I'm going to find it. 1 second.
Is anyone else, while we're waiting, has anyone else got one?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm going to say 2 and then you have to guess which one's true.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
You swap
Because
over.
there's
They're quite short. I'm going to actually, can I say 3 things because I have 2 really good stories.
2 minutes.
I'm gonna
I'm just
time
going
you
to
as well.
briefly say the thing and then you can ask
Can
me
always rely on
questions
you for a
about
bit
it.
More, Annabelle. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go on then.
I once met Harry Styles in a Sainsbury's.
Which Sainsbury's?
The one in, I can't remember, I was very young. It was one near Farnham, I think, where his old studio was.
Wow.
He was with one of the other One Direction members. My mum can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was because I was really young. The other one is I got bitten by a bullet ant next to my eye in Costa Rica.
Ouch.
And I accidentally mistook somebody for my dad and followed him all the way home.
In Costa Rica?
No, in, like, Yorkshire.
So that's 3 things then?
Yeah.
Right.
3.
So
I know which
are
one's
2 of them
true.
true?
I said, yeah, 2 of them are true and one of them's fake.
I know which ones are true. It's
Have you-
the
have you-
Harry Styles one, and it's the Costa Rica one. 'Cause I know the Harry Styles one is true because you told me.
Did I?
Yes.
Whoops. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
Right.
don't know about the Costa Rica one, but I know you've been to Costa
The
Rica.
moral of the Harry Styles story is?
What do you mean?
Is there a message to go with it?
No, not really.
No.
You should always remember, because loads of my friends thought I was lying. But anyways, yeah. So which ones do you think are true?
Well, we know.
We know one of them for certain. Frida seems pretty confident in the other one as well.
Well, just because I went to Costa Rica doesn't mean I got bitten by a bullet
It's
ant.
true. It's true.
I think it's quite like okay. The one about how you followed this random man all the way home because you thought
Yeah.
it was your dad.
You don't live in
See,
He doesn't live at your home,
and you
He's
don't
not
know.
your
No, all the
dad.
way to his home.
His home.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was like 6, 7.
How did you get
Alone?
found?
Because I was
How did
in.
you get
Have a
home?
parent with you?
Oh, because my dad found me because it wasn't that far from the park that we were in. But yeah, everyone was quite worried because I had followed
did,
this
yeah.
random person home because I thought he was my dad.
It's giving a kidnapping.
What made you think he was your dad exactly?
He was wearing the same coat as my dad. He was the
Okay.
same height as my dad, and he looked a bit like my dad.
Like same
But
colour.
I was quite young, and I was quite tired. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Frida says that's the false one. So does everyone agree? Anyone want to?
Seems very unlikely, yes. Yeah.
So,
I say it's the bullet ant one.
That's
No,
fake.
that's true.
That's true.
so the false one is following the man you thought was your dad.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
There we go. All right, well, thanks, Annabelle.
Thank you. Right, this can't be very long, you know.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
don't read the
I'm
whole.
only
I am
gonna
going
read,
to time
like-
you.
I'm
okay?
going to read like 2 pages of it and like.
Really, you should be telling us.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a Turkish fairy tale
Right.
called The Rose Beauty. So okay, I'll just start. Once upon a time, in the old days, when the straws were thieves, and the camel a chapman, and the mouse a barber, and the cuckoo a tailor, and the donkey ran errands, and the tortoise baked bread, and I was only 15 years old, but my father rocked my cradle, and there was a similar miller in the land who was a black cat. In those olden times, I say, there was a king who had 3 daughters, and the first daughter was 40, and the second was 30, and the third was 20. One day, the youngest daughter wrote the letter to her father. My lord father, my eldest sister is 40, and my second is 30, and still thou hast given neither of them a husband. I have no desire to grow grey in waiting for a husband. The king read the letter and sent for his 3 daughters, and addressed them in these words. Look now, let each one of you shoot an arrow from a bow, and seek her sweetheart wherever her arrow falls. So the 3 damsels took their bows. The eldest damsel's arrow fell onto the palace of Vizir's son, so the Vizir's son took her to wife. The second girl's arrow flew into a palace of the chief Mufuti's son, so they gave her to him. The third damsel also fired her arrow, and lo, it stuck in the hut of a poor young labourer. That won't do, cried they all. So she fired again, and that time the arrow stuck in the hunt. She aimed a third time, and the third time the arrow stuck in the hunt of the poor young labourer again. The king was wroth and cried to the damsel, Look now, thou hast got thy deserts. The sisters waited patiently, and therefore they have got their heart's desires. Thou wast the youngest of them all, yet did not want the poor young labourer. So, so she left, but she never found her own husband, and died alone.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay. Sad.
That's like a little bit, like that's like the first 2 pages. It's
Yeah.
more interesting than that, but yeah,
Oh, that's quite interesting.
It was bombshell ending.
like
Yeah.
you don't like
She
the
put
place
herself
I
out for her
ended.
sisters.
It goes a long time, but You don't get to the part of why it's called the Rose Beauty, but I'm not going to tell you. You can read it yourself.
What's the story called again?
The Rose Beauty.
Rose
Or just the Rose Beauty, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like in a book. Like that's why I had to scroll so long. It's it's like Turkish fairy tales by Dr. Ingas Kunos.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Is it like a story? Is it like a short story?
Yeah, it's like a fable book. It's like that, but like different.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? That's it. We've had 2 stories.
We've had
Come on, guys.
3. Come on, guys.
Come on.
I'm
You must have some stories. Right, do you want me to do one while we're
you
thinking?
do.
I'll do one. Right, I've done this one before, and it's about what something happened to me, and I told it at Lit Soc. Miss Honey might remember, but I haven't told it for a few years. So, one evening, I was down by the Waitrose. You know, the Waitrose is down by Surbiton Station. And I was just stood in the checkout queue, and there was a woman in front of me. And she kept on looking at me like this, which was making me a bit nervous and uncomfortable, I've got to be honest. And I just said, "Is everything okay? Can I help you?" And she said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Sorry that I'm bothering you like this, but you really remind me of my son." And I said, "Oh, okay, sure." And she got a photo out of her son, and her son looked nothing like me. He was like this sort of big, bulky bloke with dreadlocks, blonde dreadlocks. And I just thought, okay. So we got chatting for a bit as she was putting all this stuff through the checkout. And she was telling me a bit about him. Said that this was at the time of Afghanistan war, and he said he's in the army and he was doing a tour of duty in Afghanistan. And she's really saying, well, I'm really worried about him out there. I'm really missing him. So when she had finished packing up her goods, she said to me, this is going to sound a bit strange, and I hope you don't mind me asking this request, but when I leave, would you mind if I shout to you, "Goodbye, son," and could you shout back to me, "Goodbye, Mum"? And I thought, what? But I thought, well, okay, I feel a bit sorry for her. She's clearly missing her son. I think he'd been away for best part of a year at this point. So I said, okay, all right, I'll do that. So she put all her stuff in her trolley. She started wheeling away. She started walking towards the exit, and she called back to me, "Goodbye, son." And I went, "Goodbye, Mum." So off she went, and I put my my stuff through the counter, and then the person behind the checkout said to me, "Okay, that's £87.52, please." And I thought, what? Because I only had a basket. I literally had a couple of tins of tuna, some cheese, and a loaf of bread, if I remember correctly. And I said, "Oh, no, hang on, how's that possible? I literally just put 5 or 6 things through." And they said to me, "Well, I thought you were buying for your mum there." So I realised I'd been stitched up. I realised I'd been had. And I said to the checkout person, "Be right back." So you all know the Waitrose, in Surbiton. So I sprinted out into the car park and was looking for her, and then I saw her. She was a bit far away, and she just looked like she just finished loading her boots, and she was just getting into her car. And I just called her, I said, "Hey, you, stop." And she heard me, and she quickly, it's like, "Ah," and she started piling into her car. And I got to the car just as she was climbing into the driver's seat. And the door was half closed, and all I could see was her leg sticking out. So I started pulling her leg. Just like I'm pulling all of yours right now.
Yeah, I
Hey.
didn't seem quite right.
Now, unfortunately, I got to be honest, that is not my story. I stole that story from from the great singer, Tom Waits. Anyone heard of Tom Waits?
No.
Yep. It's a song. It's not a song. It's him literally narrating. He tells it a lot better than I did. And it's called "Missing My Son." It's a hidden track on one of his albums. So, great story from a great musician, because, how'd you all going? So there you go. So, yeah, and I told that one before at Lit Soc, so thought I'd treat you to it again. Just seeing your faces when I said pulling your leg, you were like, ah!
Like you were getting to the good bit as well.
It was. So, yeah.
I was really hoping
You were really hoping?
that something would happen.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's all in the detail. But if you like that story, check out Tom Waits. That's what I'll say, as far as that goes. Right. now I've brought a bit of time for you all, Lucy.
Okay, so another animal story.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you're doing, Esther. Which one?
Okay, let's hear it.
It's not about beauty. I mean,
Okay.
she's kind of a antagonist.
Tell us the story then, and don't upset your sister.
So it was in the summer, and Tabby and Beauty were outside.
There are cats, by the way.
Oh yeah, there are cats. and
What colour is Beauty?
They're both tabbies.
Oh, they're both tabbies.
and when Beauty's darker brown and black, and Tabby is lighter brown and black.
He's got a like.
He's a lot of colours also, but.
Okay.
And so they both and one cat was on one side of a log and the other was on the other. And the other was on the other side of the log.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and there was a little gap between logs. And they kept on putting their and they kept on both doing that inside the log. And I was really confused. So I went over and I looked in between the logs and I saw that there was a mouse just stuck in between of the two sides.
No wonder they were so. Okay.
And I was like, I didn't want to hold the mouse. And I didn't think that the cats were going to have enough intelligence to go on top of the logs and go and get the mouse. So I went back and got my mum, and she got a tub and put the mouse in the tub, and then they put the mouse in the shrubbery. But the thing is, about 30 minutes later, I was back in the garden and I saw to the left of our house, we have decking and the gap in the ground. I saw Tabby again, pouring under that, and lo and behold, another mouse.
Another mouse.
I'm not sure if it was the same mouse, but it was on the opposite side of the garden. We have quite a big garden, so I was unsure. But and I was so surprised. I was like, what? But yeah, the point of the story is...
Cats will be cats.
Yeah, and don't be surprised when it comes to mice.
To mices.
Cats and mice.
Mm-hmm. The cat and the mice. Or
The
mice
cats.
and the cat.
Cats.
Cats.
There's
Sorry,
multiple.
The cats. Yeah.
So was that the story you were going to say?
No.
What's yours?
Well, thank you, Lucy, first of all.
Should I do mine?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm going to recognise it.
I was very much inspired by Hannah, so thank you for doing a story about pets.
Because
Animals featuring very heavily today.
I had no idea what I was going to talk about, but I remembered this story about one of our cats, Beauty. And it's just about like the mischief that cats will get up to and the weird places they go. So there was this one day on a weekend when we said we're going to IKEA because we need to go and get some things for the whole day.
For the whole day.
The whole day. But at the beginning of the day, my dad took out the bins. And when he takes out the bins, he leaves the bin inside open and to put all the rubbish in the bin. And we didn't see what happened, and before we were going, we could hear this strange meowing, but we couldn't figure out where it was coming from, and we couldn't find Beauty, one of our cats. So we left and went to IKEA.
Cruel.
We left.
All of you.
We went to IKEA.
We
We had meatballs, the usual.
We had everything.
Yeah, we
Fries.
had a really great time.
Yeah.
We came back. We were still struggling. We were like,
Yeah.
where is Beauty? We couldn't find her at
Where is
all.
Beauty? What is she? Yes.
We were so confused. And then my mum had this strange idea. She said that if you go behind the bins in our kitchen, you can actually get into the floorboards. And so we opened the bins in our kitchen and we shone a light through. So you pull them out and you shine a light through.
Oh, I see. So it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Beauty came crawling out, meowing.
Good Lord.
Wow.
And I mean, it was on her. She was the one who
jumped
climbed in.
I just want to say,
when did beauty become relevant in this story to you guys? Because as far as I'm concerned, you guys are all happy in IKEA, just picking up furniture.
But they were, I'm sure they were thinking about it. They were probably going,
You'd be concerned if in your home you heard this.
yeah, that was just a setup as well.
Wouldn't you be concerned if you heard that and you couldn't locate where it
Well,
was
the thing
coming
was,
from?
like, she's quite small, so she is hard to see, but she's not impossible to
You
find.
wouldn't automatically think of it's behind the bin.
Yeah.
Behind the bins, wouldn't
We
you?
thought she'd be somewhere sitting on the floor begging
Yeah.
for food. But no, she was under the floorboards meowing at us
For how long, would you say?
for about a day.
A whole day.
The whole day.
We weren't at home, so
Poor beauty.
I feel for you. You two, you're watching.
yeah. So that was my pet story inspired by Hannah.
Hannah, you started a trend. Thank you very much. Okay, any more stories?
More stories?
Animal or otherwise?
No?
Maybe Miss Huntley?
Okay.
And then we'll do a few activities. Oh, Miss Huntley needs to pour herself a tea first.
I have a question about buttons.
There's no tea left.
There's no tea left.
Janet's have had it all.
2 orange buttons?
Oh, that was just in case people went over time.
Oh,
Yeah.
No one
why
has.
is there also just a random pack of biscuits?
Because I'm eating them.
Because you ate all of them and Miss Huntley couldn't have any.
You guys were like eating.
It's like the vultures.
All right.
It's like the vultures, the gannets, and the seagulls have arrived. Okay.
There's no need to. Miss Huntley.
All right. There once was a king who had married his brother's wife.
Oh, that's cold.
Well,
The family.
hang on.
Married his brother's wife.
Hang
Who
on.
had married his brother's wife. His brother
It
had
has
died before he married his brother's wife.
Does this sound familiar?
All right, so sorry. He'd married his brother's widow. I beg your pardon. He'd
Oh, I
married
know
his
who
brother's
this
widow.
is.
Okay? He married his widow. She was beautiful. She came from a faraway place. It was a marriage of convenience, but also affection, because the widow insisted that she had never had any relations with the brother. The brother, despite the fact that he was the eldest, was weakling. He was not well. He was a little odd. Quite different from his younger brother, who was gigantic, ebullient, talented, a fabulous musician, jouster, hunter, you name it, he could do it. So, all was well for 18 years. They had a child, but no more seemed to be on the horizon. So, what do you think he did?
Divorced and got a new wife.
Well, he tried, but divorce was very difficult.
So he decided to ditch the church.
And make his own.
Who's telling this story?
Yeah,
You
let
or
Miss
me?
Huntley tell a story.
The head.
So, what was he to do? He asked the head of the church for a divorce. The head of the church prevaricated and procrastinated and sent letters backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Nothing happened. And then disaster happened. The head of the church was kidnapped by the uncle of the widow, or the king's wife, the queen. You know this one? You know this bit?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Charles.
Shh.
Stop giving it away. I didn't say which number.
His soldiers had rampaged through Rome, doing appalling things, and the Pope was at their mercy. So, no annulment, because that's the Roman Catholic version of divorce. No annulment. Therefore, what was he to do? Well, his advisors said, well, it's easy, isn't it? You have the queen, but you also have a mistress. But she didn't want to be a mistress, the new girl. Didn't want to be a mistress at all. Why should she? She was beautiful, she was young, she was bound to give him a son. So, as a result, the ultimate happened. Nobody had thought of it. He took us out of the Roman Catholic Church. He made himself head of the church. And the brother's widow was cast off into outer darkness, where she lamented long and loud. And her daughter, too, was declared not fit to be on the throne of England after her father was dead. And so the king got himself a new wife. And then they had a child. And sadly, the child was also a girl.
That's how they thought in those days.
Yeah.
That's how they thought. Because we'd had queens on the throne before, and it was a disaster. The idea was that nobody would, across the world, would respect a queen, despite the fact that there were queens in Spain, or had been queens in Spain and elsewhere as well. France, no, wanted a son. It's all about masculinity as well, isn't it? Okay, so new wife, daughter, no son. By this time, the king had got restless again. Will nobody get rid of this woman who's really taunting me? I want a son. So he found a new wife.
Big surprise.
Big surprise. Did he divorce his new wife? No, he didn't. He cut off her head. Told a whole load of lies and cut off her head.
Drastic.
Very drastic.
This is like domestic abuse before, wasn't it?
Well, indeed, yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And various other people were accused of things as well, and he cut their heads off too, or tortured them. So, we left Europe. We were no longer part of the Roman Catholic Church, and the population were bewildered. Henry thought he was still a member of the Roman Catholic Church, but he was the head of the church now. Not good. Not really good. A bit like Brexit in 2016.
Yeah, just thinking that.
Yeah, just like Brexit. Anyway, meanwhile, so we've got one queen who died, but had been divorced first. One queen who'd had her head cut off. And now we had a new queen. Ah, yes, but before she died, she had a son. She fulfilled every dream that he could have thought of.
Yay!
Yes. So England went mad with joy. Mad with joy.
That's not time out. That was yay.
But sadly, the mother of the new little prince died. So he had to find a new wife.
Did she die in childbirth? No,
She died after childbirth.
2
It
weeks
was
after.
yes, it
'Cause she
was an
was sick.
infection that women quite often caught in those days. Awful,
That was
just
a 50-50
awful.
chance.
Be grateful that we're living in the 21st century.
Yes, 100,000.
Yeah. So a new wife was sought, but this time, in order to get back into England, into Europe's good graces and protect oneself from Spain, who were gunning for us, and France, a new alliance was proposed with a Protestant princess this time. Of course, nobody could know what she looked like. The king decided, all right, well, I'll look at a painting. So a painting was duly made, and he came. And but unfortunately, when she arrived in England to marry him, he didn't like her. He still married her. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there we are, a new princess who does not speak the language very well and is abandoned almost as soon as she's married. And of course, needless to say, he finds himself a new wife. By this time, of course, you'd think, what would you be thinking as a say 19-year-old girl? What would you be thinking, Hannah? What would you be thinking?
The odds are good.
I don't want to marry him.
They don't want to marry him, absolutely.
No, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
He's really old and fat at this
He's
point.
old and
I'm
fat.
assuming.
and not well by this time. But no, he decides, I'm going to have a new wife. And so he does. It does not go well. So what does he do to her? Chops off her head, absolutely. Yes. Her foolishness, her youth is not forgiven. And then, in his very old age, he becomes happy. He marries somebody who's much more suitable and is a good mother to the children and manages to survive him. And her name was?
Catherine
Catherine Parr, absolutely.
Both of them were called Catherine and Anne. If your name was Catherine or Anne, I don't think you had a very good future.
Only Jane.
Last Catherine did.
But sadly, after Henry died, she married again, and she died too in childbirth. So
She was forced to marry him. She wanted to marry someone else.
yes, she wanted to marry Thomas Seymour. Yes, yeah,
Who just so happened to be related to his third wife.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Really?
And so the moral of this tale is what's
The moral of the tale is.
What's the moral
Don't
of the
have so
tale?
many wives. Pick a lane.
Sorry, what?
Pick a lane.
What?
Pick a lane.
Like pick someone.
And stay with them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
I
absolutely.
suppose pick a lane fits.
Yeah. Just because you're a Renaissance prince doesn't mean to say you can marry everybody.
Again and again.
Yeah.
And then cast them off when you're bored of them or whatever.
And it all happened across the water in Hampton Court Palace.
So
And that's the end of the story.
local to us.
Didn't you like in the olden days? You couldn't like
What
date
olden
someone,
days?
You had to marry them.
There
Like
are
the
lots of-
old, like the Tudor days.
Well, yes, but
Tudor
days.
The Tudor. You would court, which is like dating. It's like you send sort of like letters, and then like you sort of go like, do you want to marry me? Do you want?
Yeah,
But
like
you have
you'd
to get
marry,
it
you
approved
wouldn't
and
date
everything.
someone. Like
Yeah.
you'd marry
Oh
them
no, there was
rather
a
than,
courtship.
Like, date
There was.
them.
There would be courtships.
Yeah, but for not that long, right?
Well, Anne Boleyn held out for 2 years,
She
didn't
did.
she?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
she
thought
really
she was kind of like
led
a
him on.
2 week
She wanted
thing,
to
and then
be
you'd
married.
like get married.
No, because the thing about Anne Boleyn was that Henry had already had an affair, had as a mistress her sister, her older sister,
Mary.
and had a child with her, which is rather ironic because if he'd married her rather than Anne, that child would have been the heir.
He could have made her the heir, the child the heir. I just don't understand.
They would have, yes, he could have done, but for some
Why is he like? I don't even get it. He could find like. Why are all these people like related at this point? It's like, oh, he dates this person who's also.
because we had a very, very small population, and the court was very, very small. Everybody was related to everybody else.
The beheaded girl. You know, the beheaded girls.
Yeah,
Well,
you
not
can't,
in a, not in
you
a
can't just
bad
marry a
way.
peasant from down the road. You know, you have to.
The beheadeds. They were cousins. So,
like first cousins.
like first cousins.
That is really odd. That's messed up. That's really bad.
Different time, Frida.
If that happened in this day, oh god.
You can still marry your cousin.
I wouldn't advise
You
it.
can.
Lit Soc does not advise marrying your cousin.
Honestly.
But it's weird.
I no
It's
offense to
actually
people who want to marry that actually, but that's just a bit odd, in my
That
opinion.
is odd.
Well, it is possible.
Cultural
It
differences.
is
Annabelle.
possible
Cultural differences.
to marry your cousin. You might not have grown up together. They might be across the other side of the world.
You might not know.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not know. You might not know.
Yeah.
What's the story
Yeah.
of the family tree is?
Like,
Technically, some people. Technically, I'm more closely related to some people in this room than I am others, even though I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even,
people
well, I
with
do
blue
know
eyes
people, but I
from
don't like.
human
I'm not related
ancestry.
to them, but I also am at the same time.
Maybe they're fourth cousins.
I think a bit more separated them.
Remember Tom
Yeah,
Jones?
definitely more so.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, in like sort of like, you know, devilish plot twist right from that era. Tom Jones, he ends up sleeping with the last woman he should ever sleep with, shall we say? And
I know my sister.
that was a couple of hundred years after that.
Who knows
after the
my
Tudors.
sister? Who knows me?
That's so cool.
Right, should we do a bit of
Yeah,
story
let's
time
do.
activities now? Right, let's start off with one word at a time, shall we? How long have we
We've
got?
got quarter of an
Quarter of an
hour.
hour? I think that's long enough to
Yeah.
do, and then we can do some cues.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right, folks, what we're going to do, we're going to do one word, we're going to tell a story together one word at a time.
I love
So now we've got to make sure everyone's included here, and Samira and Karis are a little bit hidden back there.
Yeah,
Perhaps
Samira-
could you maybe make
Can you
yourself
swap over,
a bit
you
more
three?
visible, perhaps? so we don't forget you're there.
I thought they were there.
You can move forward if you want to. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like, so they move forward.
How should we do
Right,
this?
ready?
Should we all?
Yep.
All right, who wants to start us? Any volunteers start us? Right, if Lucy starts us,
one
then
word.
one word, and then we'll snake around. So Esther next, then Phoebe, and then Holly, Samira, Karis, Hannah, Caitlin, Ria, sorry, Annabelle, Frida, back to Lucy. And I'm going to write down your story. So I'll read it. So how many times should we go around, do you think? 3?
Twice.
Twice? Twice. Okay, right, ready?
Ready? One's word.
One word at a time. Go.
She said banana.
Oh, did she?
It's not a traditional opening, is it? Talk about in media res.
Shall we start again?
I'm trying. Yeah. Start again.
Say like
Guys,
No, it's got to be one word. One word.
One word.
say like a one dramatic.
Come on, let's go.
cat.
No.
No, like not.
No, it's got to be an opening to a story.
Like once there.
Once.
Like there.
Was once a cat who
Was called Tabby. He liked
Bananas.
which
he he also loved
apples.
Which
He
that
yeah, it does make sense.
which I said which.
Yeah, which he.
Which he? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
He
That's all right. It's grammatically correct. Yes, Lucy.
Dropped
on the
What? Sorry, what was that?
I think it's floor
Floor.
and ate all of
the porridge.
Okay, we'll stop there.
We'll stop there.
Yeah, we went on 3 times there. It's just that we.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to hear your great story?
Yeah.
There once was a cat who was called Tabby. He liked bananas, which he ate, and he also loved apples, which he dropped on the floor and ate all of the porridge. Well done. There we go. National Storytelling Week.
In my head.
Right, how many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you split yourselves into groups of 3 or 4? So we want three groups of 3, 2 groups of 3, 1 group of 4. Can you get yourselves into that?
yourselves into that.
you want to be a whale or you're part of a whale. You're part of a
No,
Actually, you'll be part of a four.
Sure.
a 3 at the back. Yeah,
Or
and a 4.
German beer.
Right, to streamline this, do you
Well,
want
what have you done to your socks?
And in Latin,
I don't know.
like
You're wearing socks, aren't you?
to? Yeah, they look a bit.
They look a bit
grubby.
grubby to me.
No, they're not. They're meant to be like that. They're like fluffy.
Oh, I thought it was
They're like designed. I know. My trainers are dirty.
And
I was forced to play football.
I know this is kind of unrelated, but what is everyone wearing tomorrow? I don't know.
Bright colours.
Bright colours, house colours.
I have to wear red.
I've got a Teresa hoodie because I'm in Teresa.
I don't own
Can't wear that.
anything yellow.
Right, are we in our groups?
I don't even have a house
Miss
t-shirt.
Huntley, do you want to? Would you like to do the dice roller? Yes.
It's
Right. Okay. Listen up, folks. Sit down, please, and listen up. Yeah, take a seat, sir, if you want to.
Listen to the rules.
Right. So what's going to happen now? We've got 9 dice here, and Miss Huntley is going to roll three sets of 3. Miss Huntley is going to roll them, and whatever you get. Whatever is facing up, your story, you need to write a story, and I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes should be enough, I think. You need to write a story, so this paper here, make sure you got a pen too. You need to write a story that includes all 3 of those things, okay?
You're doing it in groups, aren't you?
You're doing it in your
So-
groups that you've just got yourselves into, okay?
Can you share out the paper, Ria? Ria, share out the paper for everybody. Thank
Yes?
you. Yeah?
If you want to, that's fine.
You can lean on your iPad.
Black mine now. It's a black fire.
Right, okay, so we'll start with the year 7s at the back over there. So Miss Huntley is going to roll your dice. So that's Karis, Samira. Okay, so what we got, Miss Huntley?
We've got a crescent moon, a house, and a scarab beetle.
Scarab beetle. How
Yeah.
odd.
Okay, have you got that? So your story must include all three of those things,
Wait,
okay?
let me see them. Everyone?
Right, so that's the group at the back. You three at the front here.
Can't do that.
You're not doing...
In fact, it's a story already by Agatha Christie.
What?
This
There you go, so you need to...
Where's the A?
You need to match up to Agatha Christie. Right,
no
okay.
Christie.
Right, Miss Huntley will now roll for this group. So this is your cubes are going to
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Right.
Different cubes.
Ready?
Lucy,
Wait.
Bria, and Annabelle. Right, so what have we got for these
A mobile
three?
phone,
Mobile phone,
A sunflower.
a sunflower,
sunflower.
and an emoji. Oh dear, I'm sad.
This is kind of like Malcolm
Sad emoji.
Duffy's 7 million.
Okay, you got that? And last but not least,
So you're gonna write.
you want to roll for these three?
I'm depressed.
Okay.
So sad.
So Phoebe, Esther, and Holly.
What? I'll write it. Yeah.
No, your handwriting.
Okay.
Learn a driver,
A learner driver,
an emoji who's a bit fearful,
fearful emoji,
anxious,
anxious.
Wait, I need
Does it have to be those exact words?
That looks like it.
credit card,
I think
Yeah,
we could
I-
go.
and a credit
And a
card.
credit card.
No, we could
Okay.
go.
Learn a driver,
Sad because I,
emoji who's a bit worried, and a credit card.
Okay, right, you got 5 minutes from now. And I'll buzz when your time's up. Let's see what I come up with.
How funny that should be.
See, I don't- I mean, what's what that's supposed
Yeah.
to be? Some of them are
Well,
a
it
bit...
could be Robin Hood or William Tell.
Well,
couldn't
yes,
it?
I suppose that's how you can interpret that. That's a walking stick.
That's
E.T.
I can't think what the name of it is. It's the one that Timothy Dalton starred in.
Which one? This one? Agatha Christie.
They're all stuck in a snowstorm in the middle of the.
Mousetrap.
No, not the mousetrap.
I've never won tons back.
Is it a Poirot or a Miss Marple or a Tommy and Tuppence?
Sometimes
I know she did a lot.
it is
standalone too.
it is a Miss Marple. Well, I think the original story might not be a Miss Marple, but I have seen it with Miss Marple.
Lucas, he's actually yes,
Geraldine McKeown.
I used to have a friend.
Okay.
One day I thought, and then one day
Oh, look, the fountain
I
was
started speaking
atonement.
Oh yes.
Lucas told me.
Sometimes I wonder if all our great authors,
4 years.
this is how they come up with their ideas, they roll the dice. Who came up with story cues in the first place, I wonder?
Clever, aren't they?
They're very clever. I'm sure writers use them all the time. Writers. Who's like, oh, I haven't written for ages, I need a quick idea for a short story. So, the alternative is just put random objects in a bag, but I thought, oh no, let's give them all something different to work with. What's that? Is that supposed to be a rainbow?
Well,
Yeah, I get that.
I have blonde eyelashes.
I find it very odd.
I don't know what, oh, it's an apple.
That's an
when
apple.
I thought it was... I don't know what I thought it was.
That could be half a web or a pyramid. Well, I suppose it's a pyramid.
Yeah, Aztec style.
I don't understand that at all. Is that a person standing by a river or
The dog in a dog
light
pound.
makes it a bird that
can't be a
You have
person?
to
can
look
it?
at it. Teddy bear
Teddy bear.
by a river. Or it could be a rainbow with a cloud.
The Billie
Oh,
Eilish
could.
reference.
Oh, yes, it could be. Yes.
Again, some of them are just very ambiguous. What did we say? that was
Couple of
a-
minutes.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes to go.
We talked about sunflower. We used to go sad emoji. We need sad emoji.
I look
That's cute. I mean, what's that supposed to be? Make your
Mystery.
own. Yeah,
Maybe
mystery.
the name of the.
It's a mystery, Mr. Henslow. It's a mystery.
It could be a sunflower. That could be the name of the thing. The person. It could be
Drama.
like
Parachute fish.
The number was called sunflower.
Yeah.
sunflower.
What locks?
It's like the name on the phone.
Maybe we'll use these again sometime, eh?
Right, I'll be back in a
The
second.
name on the
Okay.
phone said sunflower.
listen to me. Sunflower, let's do this. Do a sound.
To me.
Yeah, do that.
A message popped up on the screen.
No, I'll do.
Just remember, you've only got so long left.
A message popped up on the screen. Sunflower, don't do this. Sunflower, we can find you help.
And then we should do like something happens.
And then we should
Why are they
say.
using that weird name?
Okay, can you write it now?
Maybe you could be like the phone drops, the glass smashes, and on the top goes into a sunflower. They had me. They could see what I was doing. They were tracking me because that was like their code.
Okay, I think we should just
about like the code. So it would be like the phone slipped out of my hand.
Okay, guys, someone else wrote it.
All right, you're 1 minute, so start finishing up. You've got less than 1 minute, so start finishing
I
up.
think I'm really precious. My hair's like frizzy. It's not even curly. It's so annoying. And hers really.
It probably is if you wait.
No, if I wash my hair, it's really
I
curly.
have straightened hair right now. But if you wet your hair,
Yeah, if I wet my hair, it's so curly. But like,
if you wet your hair,
Is that going into the story?
yeah, she's just like scribbling it down.
and if you do like that, and then you hold it there while it's wet, or you use oil.
No, I don't. No, like.
Some of you in,
If I just
you
wash
two are in Read Up, aren't you? With Miss Oliver. One of the books is called The Hunt for the Scarab Beetle. You haven't got it yet. It's one of the future ones you're going to read.
How about we call it?
How long is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read it. I only know the title. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Stop writing. Stop writing. And come back to join us. Come back to join us, folks. You three over there, Holly, Esther, Phoebe, come back and join us.
My handwriting got really bad at the end. It's
fine.
Sorry, what?
You're reading it anyway.
That starts. Do you want a picture of this?
Right, Miss Annie's disappeared. Oh no, there you go. She's back. Right, back in your seats, please. Back in your seats.
Can I see some of it?
Okay, keep it together.
It's got to make sense, you know.
Yeah, I hope it does. Lots of amusement at their own story over here, so we'll save them for last, I think. Right, so
Probably a lot of in jokes though.
yeah, maybe I guess we'll find
Whose
out.
is this?
It could be mine because I looked.
No, it's not mine.
Does
it look like this?
No, it doesn't. There you go.
Right.
Okay, so we'll start with Karis, Samir, and Caitlin.
Come on then. Quick
So,
chop.
as a reminder, Crescent Moon, House, and Scarab Beetle need to feature. So,
Right, come up to the
come up
come
to
up to
the-
the chair. Come up to the storytelling chair.
We've got a very inventive title for ours.
okay, let's hear it then.
Let's hear it then. Come on, announce it.
The title is The Crescent Moon, the House, and the Little Scarab Beetle. Very inventive.
Okay,
Sit down. Tell us the story.
Wait,
Come on.
come on, hurry up.
should we just all read it at the same time?
Yes, just all read it.
Once upon a time, a little blue scarab beetle sat under the crescent moon. His mushroom house had a small chimney and a curved door. He lived with all the other scarab beetles who also loved the crescent moon. Every fortnight, all the scarab beetles would look up at the moon and read books about how to stop predators from eating the beetles. Their books have red and blue covers, and the little scarab beetle loved reading them.
Okay.
A very wholesome Scarab
Very
Beetle
wholesome
family. Reading their red and blue books under the crescent moon. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so Lucy, Rhea, and Annabelle had a mobile phone, a sunflower, and a sad emoji. So let's hear that one. Oh, sorry, and Frida. I do apologise.
Are you going to tell it together?
I miss out a lot of vowels, by the way,
You know what?
when I write.
Here's what we'll do. Why don't Annabelle
Got a
like?
thing about them.
Okay,
Yeah.
when you're ready then.
Okay.
You can sit down.
Yes, it's a little bit awkward like that.
Okay, I'll sit.
What's the matter with the chair?
You just sit back and go check.
Yeah, you don't all have to come up.
Ring, ring. The sound of the phone echoes through the dimly lit hall. Sweat was dripping down my palms. The phone vibrating in my hand. Guilty me to the...
Gluing.
Why isn't
Should I just-
Yeah, I think Annabelle should read it with her handwriting. Okay?
Susie, come sit down. Sit down.
I'm gonna hop.
Okay.
Ring, ring. The sound of the phone echoes through the dimly lit hall. Sweat was dripping down my palms, the phone vibrating in my hand, gluing me to the floor. I was trapped with no way to escape. A bird in a cage. The phone slipped out of my hands onto the cold stone floor, the glass forming the shape of a sunflower. My breathing quickened. They were onto me. Tears dripping down my face, fear flooding through my body. Darkness.
Well, very gothic.
Very gothic.
I'm in my
Did not write
gothic
that for
era.
GCSE, but very compelling. Well
Yes.
Yeah,
There we
it's
go.
kind of more of like an
We went from wholesome to quite
Wait,
dark,
can you
didn't
not
we?
write Gothic for
Right, come on, Esther, let's hear this one. So this one needed to have a learner driver, a fearful emoji, or a fearful person, anxious person, and a credit card. So,
Can I say our title?
what you can?
It's called America.
America.
America. Like
Okay.
that? America.
America.
Alright.
America.
Yep.
Do you have to do this? So when you say
America,
America.
great again.
Good accent there, certainly.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Let's hear it.
There was an anxious learner driver who was terrified of cars. But one lesson, the learner driver had to go on the motorway. His hands were trembling, the wheels shaking. Cars flew by the window at
Not
an
surprised.
Definitely illegal.
They didn't know that. We'll allow this, Miss Huntley.
unimaginable speed. Car after car after car. His vision was blurring and those cars became one massive colour. And then, darkness. Through the darkness, there was flashing lights and an ominous voice whispering in his ears. You owe us £1 million. Would you like to pay by cash or card?
Where is he? At McDonald's?
I don't know where did this come from.
No, he's in a car crash. He's in a hospital. He has to go to hospital, but he doesn't have any health insurance.
Oh, it's in America.
Because it's in America.
It says when it's in motorway, we just immediately thought it was this
Yeah, you
country.
see, if it's America, you have to say
Highway. Yeah, so correct, that's a highway.
or interstate.
Yeah, interstate routes and Route 66 and everything. So,
America.
okay,
Okay, right.
interesting ending. Thank you very much.
I love the. Would you like to pay by cash or card?
It is asks.
I think it has some sort of hallucination. Supermarket.
I know, exactly. Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Interesting swag bag of stories there. So,
Are there any more activities? Did you do it?
thank you, Ev.
Did you do anything?
I did the Tom Waits story.
No, they don't.
Oh no, I had to.
Yeah, Mr. Humphreys told you the Tom Waits story. I told you the story of Henry VIII and his 6 wives.
But the make
No,
story.
We had to oversee this.
Yeah, we had to oversee the chaos.
Anyway, that wraps up Lit Soc. So we shall see you this time next week. Should we say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye.